How's everyone doing?
Oh,
Good.
I'm going pretty well. How are you going?
Good. I'm going well.
Are you
How's everything going? How's everyone
are you
doing?
going places?
Yeah, many places. So let's just start off. Uh First topic. The next live stream is on Friday. I want to get your thoughts. And the next topic, the live stream's topic is going to be Node Wars. So world versus world, big clashes, big battles, that kind of stuff. Very PvP focused for Friday. So Daniel, what would you like to see in a node war or world versus world setting? I think the closest thing that we probably see is Guild Wars 2 right now, the big clashes.
Um, that's a good question. Are you referring to Guild Wars 2 or Ashes?
I'm referring to Ashes, but I think like
Right.
the closest thing that we see right now in the gaming world would be something that Guild Wars 2 has.
I mean, ESO has a pretty decent. I mean, they haven't updated it in like 6 years, but
Oh yeah, that's true.
um,
I forget that game exists.
what would I like to see? You know, it's I guess something new. I mean, versus what everybody else is doing, obviously.
Right.
Um, maybe like troop escorts or something. That would be kind of cool. That's not really something you see in like world PvPs.
Like, what do you mean?
Like if you gather enough of a resource or um, I don't know, just trigger something, then your team gets like a convoy of troopers that attack a castle or something.
Oh, okay. So
That
kind of like
way,
there's that Guild Wars 2 like game mode where you get the supplies and then
yeah, it's like it's like that, but like more intense, I guess.
gotcha.
Um, Because I find that in these games, if there's not really that many people playing, you can't do anything. Like it just kind of dies off until like people start logging in again.
Yeah.
So I
Especially
think that,
when you're trying to take over like some other node or castle and the guards
yeah,
can one-shot you. Like it's a bit of a pain in the ass.
yeah. I guess I'm just saying like I think it would be cool if there's like if the player count is low enough, then you could get like some kind of NPC assistance to some degree.
Alex, how about you? What's
Uh, I'm a I'm kind of on the opposite side of Daniel. I like the tried and true, kind of like Conqueror's Blade is esque, where maybe you get a 3 or 4 units behind you and you just command them and fucking go in. Um, yeah, I like the big battles with like you have
well, I
no
don't
idea what's happening other than the mini map.
no, I don't think Daniel's saying no big battles. I think he's saying that when the population is low and like the non-peak hours, like well, node wars are pointless. But
Yeah,
I don't think Ashes is planning to do node wars all the time. Like I think you have to like trigger an event in order to do a node war. So
yeah.
it'll probably be one of those things. What would you like to see on the live stream on Friday, Alex?
Because this one's about the node wars and stuff. I
Yeah,
would
it's a
hope
node war
they
preview.
I hope they touch on the summoner, get the 6 summoners together and you get a big mammoth thing or whatever like that. I hope they
Oh,
touch on that.
the group class skill or whatever it is.
Yeah, I hope they touch on that and node specific buffs.
Oh,
Like like the like what was the one node?
like the military node.
Um like a military, well, not the military one, the prophets and the religious node. Like, do they get like a divine favor, or like do these nodes actually like help you out? Do you get a different buff? Do you get like a speed buff? Do you get an attack buff if you have so many nodes? Like that's what I kind of hope we get to hear.
Yeah, I think yeah. I mean that'd be cool, but is that too much? Is that too much piling onto a node because you already have to consider everything else on a node too, like because like
Its
everything.
ashes are gonna.
That's fair. Which is like I just don't want it to feature creep. I think that's kind of my expectations for the Node Wars. I don't want it to feature creep beyond what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a mass PvP thing. And if we add too many features and like quests and blah blah blah, it kind of goes away from
Mhm.
the purpose. So
Yeah.
what are you wanting to see there, Daniel, for Friday?
I was just thinking about Star Citizen. I want to see Star Citizen release. Maybe in 35 or
How did you
something.
how'd you start thinking about Star
But
Citizen?
yeah, when when you're talking about like feature creeping,
Oh, fair
yeah, because
enough.
that game, I don't even know what's going on with that game. Anyway, what do I want to see? I mean, I guess what Alex said would be pretty cool, like another like class group skill, um,
Yeah.
just showing off that stuff in terms of the nodes. Um, I guess I would like to see, because have they released PvP gameplay yet?
They've done caravan. So the main PvP thing that you'll run into is like caravan stuff. So
Yeah,
if you have like X amount of materials, you got to ship it to a different place to sell it, and you got to protect that caravan. Arcage has that where you have to like protect a certain caravan to bring your materials to a different place to sell it, and
right.
and you can have another party come in and essentially steal it all. So that's kind of the main PvP thing that
And
they showed.
is that like a little bit more like smaller team based or?
Yeah, it's small scale. I mean,
Yeah, I guess what I would like to see is just some gameplay, I guess, because and it would be cool if it wasn't scripted either. I don't know if they're going to make it scripted, like in terms of their
yeah,
gameplay release, because
yeah,
it would be cool to see how the game plays out when they're not playing pretend and everybody's actually trying to kill each other. So
yeah. That was actually, I think that was one of my critiques too for because when they did the live stream of the caravan, Steven said that, it was set up, it was scripted specifically so that we can show everything, right? But it was like Steven's party would have no adversity, and the other party would just come and like run in and smash its head against the wall, essentially.
yeah, I mean,
So,
like I get that they do that for like marketing purposes because it looks cleaner and better. But if this game is going to be in development for how long, I think people want to actually see how things are looking too, from like an actual gameplay perspective.
so then combat perspective, uh, do you want to see, uh, the big question here is, can we even have strategy in MMOs? Like, is there even room to have a strategy? Like, X amount of people go this way, X amount of people go that way, rangers in the back, blah, blah, blah. Or is it just Deathball Zerg versus Deathball Zerg? You smash into each other. Because I find that all the MMOs that I played, Ion specifically, and now Guild Wars 2, when you have these big clusters of people, it just becomes a bashing the head contest. There was no real strategy.
Yeah.
So my question,
Um,
so my question is just like, do you think MMOs can have strategy in these settings?
I mean, if it's like Mike Tyson said, everybody has a plan until they get punched in the
The
face.
face.
um, I think that it's definitely possible to have a strategy, but whether you're able to maintain that is the question. Because you could have placements for people and you know do everything you want to, but then what happens if you have like a rogue that just randomly pops up behind your archers or something, and then all of a sudden all 20 of your guys do a 180 turn to go after the rogue. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fair.
But
Like mob mentality, just like, ooh, I see rogue, I kill rogue. Alex, how
yeah,
about
I
you?
mean that's really what it is also too, right? Because
Yeah.
everybody, like, you know even myself included, everybody has red in their eyes when they see like one guy that's half dead. So you know,
For sure.
um,
Alex, as the strategy RTS player of the group, do you think
Yeah.
MMOs can even have strategy?
Oh yeah, definitely. Strategy, like I would say, like party comps was going to be the big thing. I think if they start implementing this class uh, alts or whatever they want to call it, ultimates. I think that's going to be the game changer. Because if there's like 6 archers on a wall and they have just like this wall volley thing that just peppers everybody or poisons everybody, it's going to be a lot more effective than one of each, or maybe like 2 sorcerer, 2 wizards, and whatever, just doing minimal damage.
So
I think,
the strategy comes in when you get these class group
yeah,
skills.
like
Yeah.
you said, it is a death ball. Like there's no other fun thing to do is to run a death ball with 30 mages and no one's dying. Like we were doing in Guild Wars, how you could
Oh
throw
yeah.
whatever you want down there, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Um,
All the shields and stuff.
Shield stuns,
So
but with ashes,
how does a developer facilitate strategy? Is it with
um,
numbers? Like, is it with balance changes or is it with features?
I think it's with the features of the skills. Like you saw clerics, they have the stagger effect, and then so do the fighters. And then if you get staggered twice, you fall down. And
Yeah.
those were AOE things. So if like a death ball just ends up like laying down, saying "kill us now," like that's when it's gonna start saying like, "Oh, maybe we can't do this death ball anymore. Maybe we need to like send a few, send a few here, like try to space it out." I think that's where it's gonna
Yeah.
start when we'll see strategies, how these stagger effects and all the poisons and the lightning mage who can stun from whatever, or
Yeah, sleep and stuff. The sleep skill.
yeah,
and then
I
you just like all you see is you turn around, you look at the wall, and there's 30 archers just do the backflip 30 yards away from you and just snipe you in the back.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, that didn't work out, right? So
yeah, I think if you know just going off of from what Alex is saying, I think positioning and stuff like that is never going to work, but synergizing class skills and stuff, like, I think having a certain composition and having people focus on like certain tasks, like, I don't know, for example, maybe the fighter or and the tanks um, are the first ones to pick a target, and then they go after them and stun them, and then you got the damage classes, like, waiting to pop their cooldowns, and then you just like nuke somebody.
Yeah. Because I
something
think
like
the
that.
general fantasy when people think like node wars or castle sieges is that like, your two guild leaders are in a fucking Discord call or whatever team speak. It's just like, okay, Alpha unit go A. Now Beta 2 unit go
I mean,
flank B.
that's me,
Well,
man.
it's.
That's me.
I mean, the thing with that is that when it's like peak hours and everybody's on,
Yeah.
um, you kind of have to just like bash heads against each other because if you split groups up, then it's like divide and conquer or whatever. Like
Yeah.
who's gonna win? The two groups that go after two different objectives but take them half as slow and then maybe get thinned out because they're not as big and they're just getting like kind of chipped away at, or the group of 300 monkeys that are just barreling towards the castle.
Yeah, I guess. And I think that's kind of the overall issue with these node wars and these mass scale PvPs things sound fun from a strategy perspective. Like on paper it does, but I think when you actually execute the whole thing, it quickly boils down to 300 monkeys fighting each other.
Yeah,
Ooga chaka, ooga ooga.
it's just, basically just throwing shit into the
That's gonna be
fan.
the strategy. It's just gonna be barrel monkeys, and then
Monkey and
that's what the
barrels.
word's gonna be. That's the world. That's the word we're gonna call it.
Is that gonna be our new guild name?
Barrel of monkeys? No.
Barrel
Barreling
of monkeys. That can be your group name.
Yeah, that could
Okay,
be your
for
group name. The Pisces group, the Barrel of Monkeys group.
yeah,
Uh so
Monkey
do you
Squad.
so if the fantasy of having like an overlord, I guess like a commander or like a general of some sort is over here, and the monkey Zerg, I know I'm a bit blurry, the monkey barrel your head over here is, where do you think Ashes is going to kind of fall on that spectrum? Is it going to be closer to the middle, or is it going to be closer to one of the ends? I know that we said it's already, at the end of the day, it'll boil down to that, but I think there's going to be, so my expectations for the live stream is that I think they're going to try their best to avoid the mass Zerg thing. So I think they're going to probably show some features that presents the barrel of monkey strategy. Uh, so, but like, so there's a difference between what is in reality and what we want from it. So where I want Ashes to be is kind of in the middle. Like I don't mind both things. I would much rather go like middle, closer to the strategy aspects or the strategy sides of things, but I can understand that you can't have strategy at the end of the day because you'll get punched in the face. So Alex, where do you want them to be? Do you want them to be on
Like straight strategy.
all strategy? Hey,
All
have you
like
ever
all.
have you ever played
That's
Kingdom
just
Under
me
Fire
though.
2?
Yeah, I did a little bit.
Oh, Daniel, have you?
What? Sorry.
Kingdom Under
Kingdom Under
Fire
Fire.
2.
Well, you both said it. Can you say it one more time?
Kingdom Under Fire 2.
Oh no, I haven't played it.
Oh, it was like a 2010 MMO or something. And you would pick your class, whatever you'd go through, but the story was instance based, and you would train troops, kind of like a Conqueror's Blade, but it was more
Yeah.
fantasy based. So you can have like an army of goblins with flamethrowers and stuff, but you would have to like
Train them.
organize them and stuff. And I feel like
Interesting.
that's what people expect to do with
Yeah.
their guild, right? But
I think ultimately it comes down to the way they approach how the PvP works.
they got on 1v1 basis or on like a group basis.
Well, I just mean in terms of like objectives and stuff. Like,
Oh, like what the actual goal is.
yeah, and the
Yeah,
way they structure the maps and stuff as well.
yeah.
Um,
But where do you
because
want it? But where do you want it to be?
I mean, I would be happy with like maybe the middle ground, but maybe a little bit more so towards like tactics. I mean, it'd be refreshing because yeah, pretty much every MMO PvP out there basically boils down to everybody clubbing each other in the head until people are left standing. You know what I mean? But
Yeah. I mean,
um,
I like how you phrase these things, just clubbing each other. Mm.
yeah, I'm full of taglines, But
Yeah.
um, yeah, it's I don't think it's something that's easily done, but if they do enough testing and they structure the maps well enough and have objectives, like you need to do certain things to take objectives. Like I guess one way they could do it is having to do like specific tasks um, to like access something. I guess where like a smaller team would want to do. I don't know. Do you see where I'm coming from? Like maybe a
Yeah,
smaller team could want something.
Like if
like
you're trying to break down a door, is there a way to get a trebuchet to like blow it up or something like that?
Yeah, or like infiltrating a
a keep.
um, yeah, like let's say if you're able to sneak in, but there's like a limit to how many people from your team or faction can go into that like side entrance or something like that.
Oh, oh, so like yeah, so gatekeeps by number, not by.
Yeah, so that would
Uh,
be kind of cool. Like I think like that would introduce ways to implement strategies and stuff like that versus just the death balls. So
right. Uh, I was. I know this probably won't get implemented or even used, but I was thinking that if there, like, let's say your guild has like 200 people, there's a guild chat, and if your commander dies, like gets assassinated, you can no longer hear what he's saying. But then you can just work around it by going on Discord and just
Yeah.
listening to him there, right? But I think like assassinating one person that's responsible for something should be pushed towards. Do you know what I mean? Like taking the king's head or something. But I don't know how Ashes as the or Intrepid as the developer is gonna like promote that kind of play style.
Yeah.
well, but how I guess like a debuff or something for like a set amount of time would be cool. I guess maybe if you position yourself as a commander, then your group gets a buff, and if you die, then you get a debuff for like 30 minutes or something.
That's one way to do it, buffs and debuffs. Uh so other than that, we'll see, I guess, what Ashes has for us. I'll keep you two up to date on it because I know we're 8 hours apart. And it's on at a perfect time in the Europe and an awful time in the States. I mean, or in the West. It's on at like 11 o'clock your time, and then 7 mine. So
Hmm.
I just like have ice cream. You guys miss it every time. Uh, Comparisons on that. So just Guild Wars 2. There's been some uh this is just my kind of interest anyways. There's been some theories of a new expansion on the horizon. Actually, ArenaNet just patented the name Janthir Wilds. So last time when Secrets of the Skewer came out, uh, someone found out that they trademarked the name Secrets of Obscure. So people are thinking that, of course, Jantier Wilds is probably going to be the next expansion. So new expansions obviously have lots of new additions. There's usually brings new class, new weapons, new professions, and obviously a new area. This new area is going to be a lot like the Riverlands. It's actually going to be in the north. I wish I had the map up, but the north part of it's like north of Divinity Reach, that main city there. So new expansion. I know we're not super in deep into the Guild Wars 2. Like we haven't played every class or every profession, but what do you want to have in that new expansion? New weapon, a whole new class, maybe just a new sub profession. Alex, what do you think?
Oh. I hope. I think like you said, we're not like totally into it. All right, we're not. We just scratching the surfaces. Oh, I think I like the new gear. I like new gear. I like new shiny things. New shiny swords, new shiny hammers, whatever you. I like new shiny things.
Yeah, but do you want like a new weapon set for your class? Like I don't know,
Oh,
Like what can't the
Ooh.
necromancer use? I don't think they use hammers.
No. Well, I guess that
Kind
new expansion lets you use hammers or something. Um, trying to think. Like they use. I kind of like the concept of a little bit of a restriction for weapons
Right.
because it kind of promotes you to. Oh, if you really want to use a hammer, try a different class, right? Um,
I'm just gonna
that's what
pull up
I'm.
they
the weapons now.
they just introduced a new weapon line in the last expansion anyway,
Yeah.
Secret Obscure. So I think if they did another one, it would add a little bit too much to all the classes. Um, I mean, I would think seeing a new class would be cool because I think they added the Revenant like in the first one, so that would have been like 9 years ago or something.
Oh wow.
I think it came like I think the first expansion was it. I can't remember which one they added the Revenant. It was either Path of
Art of
no, it
Thrones.
was Heart of
Or-
Thorns. Yeah, it was Heart
Yeah.
of Thorns. And I'm pretty sure that one came out in 2015, so that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
So I think they're a
First
little bit
two.
overdue for another class now. Just thinking of like what it would be because they have the Guardian, which is basically Paladin, Fighter, or not Fighter, Warrior, but same thing.
Yeah.
The Revenant, which I guess I'm not really familiar with what the Revenant does. I guess they use like ancient ley line magic or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they use like the legends or
The
like the legends
part
of
of
the
their ancestor.
yeah, and like bring it in.
They
Uh
put on their ancestor guide me.
exactly. Well, so
Yeah.
one of the things that like the Reaper doesn't have is short bow, rifle, longbow, hammer, and a
Yeah.
lot
I
of
don't
like
have any of those.
the two-handed stuff. Sorry, I'm just gonna turn on my lights. The sun just went away.
Just disappeared on
I
you.
was like a little gremlin in a dark room. But I mean, there's a lot of weapons that a lot of these classes don't have, and I know Secrets of Obscure didn't add another class; they just added weapons, and then, you saw um rifle Chronomancer come out of that, like the heal Chrono. Uh, but I kind of want a new sub profession because I feel like nine classes. They have nine classes. It's such a nice number, 9 by 4.
I mean,
Yeah.
10 is a nice even number too. So
I guess that'd be 30. Yeah, yeah, you're right. Actually, a new
new
class.
subclass. Yeah, I guess a new subclass or like an expert specialization would be good. But I mean, I'm just trying to think of like what they're kind of missing because thief.
I don't think they're missing a lot. I mean, I would like the Weaver to
No.
have both two-handed, both swords, like sword main hand, offhand. But it's not that big of an issue to me. Or maybe like a
Yeah,
Weaver
I
sheep
mean, the classes are kind of good where they're at right now. Maybe a new subclass would be nice.
for each profession.
I'd be
Well,
down for that.
well, that is ways away. But those of you on stream or watching the stream, probably no one at this point. But our main topic today is going to be crafting in Ashes of Creations, and
Mm, That's me. That's me right there. Oh, like based on other games. Oh, I like it way better. I like it way better because you get the hardcore streamers who like Asmongold or any of the big streamers who just have 100,000 followers. Like, hey, I need wood, and there's gonna be some. That's all they're gonna be used for, or whatever. So it almost seems like uh you can't catch up. But now with this new one, it kind of seems like you can kind of keep up with them a little bit, like with the other players who have guilds already.
Couldn't hear a thing from me. I was just rambling on. Anyways, so I'll just explain that again because nobody heard me. Tech issues, man. By episode 2, we'll figure it out. Uh, their initial artisan classes looked like this: gathering, processing, crafting. You can only go into one of the three, and now they've changed it to a pyramid scheme where the grandmaster's up top. 9% of the numbers on the left is the percentage of the you can go into, and the numbers on the right are is the total. Obviously, novice 100, apprentice 22, journeyman 18, master 13, grandmaster 9% of the total professions. So, Daniel, do you like the change? Do you like the switch from the previous you can only pick one to now you can kind of do a little bit of everything?
Um, I think it's a good change. Because I think being limited to one just kind of makes things like people like to have a little bit of variety. So I think if you were just stuck with one for your entire playthrough, it might get boring, or you might get if you want to change things up, then it's pretty difficult to do so.
Yeah. And so I agree. I like the direction that they're taking this. It kind of eliminates the categorization of gathering, processing, and crafting, in my opinion. But I feel like this is a way better because it's way more self-sufficient for casual players, but it still requires cooperation from like the hardcore grinders. So I feel like they grab both philosophies into this system, whereas no, a lot of like Guild Wars 2, for example, you can essentially be a grandmaster in every um, profession, well, every job, and you're self-sufficient through and through. But crafting in the real world, you know, tradesmen, you got to cooperate with people. You got to buy materials from the loggers to build a house, right? You got to hire somebody that has the skills to build the house to actually construct it, and then the processing of the lumber. So, but the funny thing is that the novice you can do all 22, and the apprentice it all the way goes down to 5. Do you think that's a big like too much of a gap? Like you're going from 100% of the professions to 22% of the professions in one
I
level.
I think it's appropriate because it kind of gives you the ability to like try everything out and see what you actually want to do. So then, once you do kind of bump up, then you you can make an educated decision as to which professions you don't like and which ones you do.
Alex?
Yeah, I agree with Daniel there. It's like, why limit everyone to, hey, once you start lumbering, you can't do it. Can't go to leather making, right?
But do you think the gap between novice and apprentice, like that's
Yeah, I think that's fine. I think maybe they could have put 6, like just make it all, maybe make it like 25%
I was thinking
or
10.
whatever it would be. Maybe, yeah, maybe I could see 10 too. Like maybe they might change it. It is a pretty big jump, but
I think it's way too big. Like I don't know. I think it's because not a lot
should
of
it
people
almost be
are gonna
50%?
yeah, the first one, yeah, it should be yeah, 50% would be nice, but I think the like you're not gonna once you're an apprentice, like you want to start getting better things, right? Well, I mean, we always want to
Yeah,
start getting better things, but you would have to go so much more out of your way to, for a casual player, to get even journeyman level stuff, right? So I think if they
yeah.
narrowed the gap, it would streamline things more. But my big question for this topic is Steven Sharif has said many of times the best gear will be crafted gear. Do you agree with this thought or this philosophy of the game?
I think it should
Nope.
be. I think it should be spaced out a little bit between endgame and crafting. Um, I think it just depends on the difficulty level. Like, uh, for example, I don't know what they would be called in Ashes of Creation, but let's give an example like World of Warcraft, and I don't know what they call them now because I haven't played the game in so long. But they used to have these things called heroic raids, where it's
Yeah,
basically like
mythic
you
raids
know,
now.
yeah, it was like the raid, but like a very hard mode version of it.
Yeah.
So I think if you're able to, beat something like that, depending on the difficulty of the actual raid, you should be able to get some like pretty high end gear because only a few amount of people are actually going to be able to successfully complete that, right?
Yeah.
Whereas
Whereas,
it's the same with crafting, only a few people that are like really dedicating themselves to it will be able to get the best items.
oh, so you're saying maybe they should be equal, not one more than the other?
Yeah, well, like, yeah, I don't think it because I mean that's a pretty hardcore statement saying that crafting items are, 100% going to be the best items in the game. I think it should be split up, and only the most difficult, uh, you know, content challenges should offer gear that's equivalent to the crafting.
Right. So what if the crafting is that much more difficult than any raid?
Well, then I guess that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if that will go down that
But
route.
then, but then the question is that will that make doing like difficult content or the raids feel pointless?
Yes, that's kind of the looming storm. Does your crafting system kick out your rating system? Like
Yeah,
a lot of
you really. That's why I'm saying like it would be good to have it on both sides because not everybody wants to dive into crafting all that much. Like I'd be down for it, but I know a lot of people don't really like to grind that stuff out.
I
So
mean, I'm down for it too, and I get what you're saying, but I think from like an immersion standpoint, crafted gear would be the highest gear because the only gear that a boss or a raid boss would be able to obtain is the gear left by other adventurers that died. And if that gear couldn't help them, then there's no way. Like, you see what I'm saying? Can I get what I'm saying? Like, if they died with that gear, then that gear is probably not as good as the best gear possible.
well, what if they just like fumbled and tripped, and that's how they died?
Uh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's
What
fair.
if they had like,
It
the
it wasn't dependent on the gear being the thing.
yeah, what if they actually just like tripped and broke their neck accidentally or something, you know?
Then there's, yeah, good point. Like I didn't think,
Maybe they were fighting a mind goblin.
Yeah.
and they tripped and broke their neck. I uh, I really like the push for the best gear being the craft gear. Alex, how about you?
I like it. I don't mind it. I hope they do it kind of like what actually what's it called? Freaking oh, what's the goddamn game called? Lost Ark. Lost Ark. That's right. Like you go kill the raid boss and then you get all these materials and you can make a weapon. I like that aspect. Like you're not
Oh,
really getting the weapon from
the raid.
the the raid itself. You're getting the materials to make the weapon, which I think that'd be nice because I don't think a creature would just like have a sword in his belly. You know what I mean? Unless like there are people eating them or whatever. But um, I like the material aspect of going to this raid, killing this dragon for the 8th time, and finally getting that 3 pieces that
I
you need. Like
fucking hate that.
I know a lot of people hate it.
Oh, I
But
can't stand
I don't
doing the same raid
like
like 9 times.
yeah. I don't mind like 9. I just hate it when it's like you need to do it like 100 times. Um, maybe
I,
Ashes will change it. Maybe it'll be like you'll get almost like depending on what it is, right? If it's a big boss, like final boss, and the raid's fucking 2 hours, okay, maybe you should just get every material that you need for your weapon and one more piece of gear, and then so you only have to do it like 4 times. So
8 hours? That's not bad. That's a lot of gameplay.
that's
Uh,
8 hours with whatever with your team or guild or whatever.
but what about gear from like PvP? Do you think I guess like Node Wars are coming up. Do you think you should get stuff from Node Wars, or do you think buffs and economy should be the reward there?
You might just get skins. I think I think that's what might
No, I don't think
happen.
they're doing
I
skins.
think
I
all
think they're gonna do skins.
No.
Fuck.
I think it would work out better if we were saying, like I was saying earlier, how it should be evened out between PvE, like the content and
The
the craft.
stats.
But I think it'll be fine as long as uh, the only way you're able to get some crafting components is through the content. Then it would
Yeah.
make it worth it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because like if I'm gonna be doing like some hard ass dungeon or whatever, and all I get is like a chest plate that sucks and nobody's gonna wear it, then like what's the point of me even doing it?
Right.
Yeah.
But
Whereas if I get like a crafting component that I could sell for like, you know, 300 rupees or whatever.
My
rupees.
dragon heart. My dragon heart is 300 rupees.
Rupees.
Yeah.
I guess I don't, but it's tough because I think Ion tried to do that way back in the day where the crafting was
Yeah.
equal to the rating gear, and eventually no, like I was what patch was it? It was the patch. It was like a year before they released the paint class. I forget the patch. It was like 8 something. But I was crafting, and this guy came up to me. He's like, it's fucking pointless. I was at a crafting stage, and this guy DM'd me. He was like, it's fucking pointless to do this, right? I was like, man, I just spent the last like 60 hours, the last 3 weeks doing my crafting. And he's like, yeah, just do this one raid and get the better sword. It's like, fuck it. So I think
I hope
there.
that's not the case.
Yeah, well, I hope that's not the case, but I think having raiding gear that is equal to crafting completely eliminates the crafting and the artisan skills of the world. Because why would you why would you spend 10 hours grinding, like fucking harvesting plants and carrots or some shit when you can go do a raid for 8, have fun, actually press
Because you
buttons. Pardon?
because it's a skill issue. The only thing you can do is get the carrots.
The carrots, bitch.
No, I'm saying why would you get the carrots when you could just go raid and actually have
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because you have a skill issue and you can't get the raids done.
so the
I mean, that's a
plebs.
real thing. Like, some people can't actually get that shit down pat.
You'll get people get carried all the
Well,
time.
even like in Lost Ark, some of the raids are just ridiculous. If you don't know what you're doing, like you just get kicked instantly. You're like, nope, God, see you later.
But this,
Stop wasting time.
I'm talking about the highest echelon of the game. Like we're talking about the best gear you can possibly get. I'm sure that if you're up to that point or striving to get to that point, you have some idea of how to do the raid.
Well, that's
So
fair enough. Okay.
I think this whole best gear is crafted gear philosophy will revitalize MMOs. I think this is the way to go. I don't think there's
Yeah,
any other way to
they'll
go.
revitalize MMOs in the year 2038 when the beta comes out.
Yeah. Hey, testing period's right around the corner, baby. Special teams, special plays. Uh, so and then I have another like sub question here. Should a crafting system be a cooperative event? Like, should you be cooperating with other people or should it be self-sufficient?
What do you mean by that?
Like, should you need other people to process other things for you? Like, so if you need some like alchem, if you need some potions, you might have all the gathering, but they have like your friend has processing stuff, so you give all your materials to him.
Well, yeah, I think it's definitely going to be like that,
But should
without a
it be
doubt.
like that?
Every game has. I mean, otherwise, like some of the less popular professions become useless because nobody wants to do them.
That's
If
fair.
if uh, if if it was the case of you could get everything on your own,
Right.
like that way it forces people to do some of the less popular professions because it feels like that gap that's required.
That's fair. But I guess then you're just asking people to do something that's less popular. And I don't think I mean, it's like trying to find a healer in
Well, okay. Well,
Lost Ark.
let's say Guild Wars 2 and artificing.
Yeah.
Like I guess it depends on who you are, but I don't think crafting focuses and you know like staffs is probably, or the spears and the tridents is probably the most popular crafting in the game, but it's kind of required, right?
Right. But they're but Guild Wars 2's crafting, like the actual mechanics of it, is consistent through all their crafting. Like you pretty much get the same materials, the same action is required, right? Well,
Well,
mostly the
I'm just
same
saying in
materials.
terms of like dependence on certain things, like
No.
the artificing. I think is probably one of the less popular um, um, professions, but it has items that you need.
Yeah, that's fair.
So somebody's going to be doing it.
Alex?
Um, yeah, I'm kind of agreeing with you. I like the fact that what I'm trying to say here. Like I like the system. I'm all for it. I'm ready for it. I'm ready to do the grind.
Yes. That leads me to my
Yeah,
next thing.
click off your fucking hentai tabs.
What?
That leads me to my next topic, actually. Well, let's stay on track here, fellas. Should How difficult should crafting be? Should it be difficult? Should it be easier context? Should it be grindy? Or should there be a mini game associated with it?
Oh my goodness, a mini game.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I guess a mini game could be cool, but like I think it's gonna get annoying after like that's just giving me like PTSD from like Fable or something.
Fable.
Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, where you'd
Yeah.
like do a job and like you'd have to do it like 3 billion times to get enough gold for a house or something.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if I'd want to do a mini game like 3 million times in a row. You know.
Yeah, that one's tough. I mean, Black Desert, the the fishing mini game has like an AFK option where you can just leave your PC
Yeah.
on essentially, and you just get all the fish anyway, but it takes way longer. I don't specifically like the idea of mini games. I think mini games should come in when you're moving up to the next level. So like if you go to novice to apprentice, then you play like a mini game. Like there's a mini game associated
Oh,
to it.
like a class upgrade or a skill upgrade.
Yeah, and then there's more mini games the further you go up the ladder. Like Grandmaster, every time you craft Grandmaster level gear. So I think they call it artifact level gear. I think that's the correct um, rarity they say. There's a mini game for every artifact that you have to do. That I don't mind because then it's not as a not it doesn't occur as often.
As long as it's not gimmicky and stupid. If
Yeah.
you know if they're actually like well thought out and like fun to do,
What about
but
like
also
Osu?
have like some difficulty to them, then I guess it's okay.
What if you have to play Osu to craft a sword? Do you know what Osu is?
Then I'll commit seppuku.
Jesus, in game.
Yeah.
Obviously, in game.
Well, it's
So
not English. It's fine.
I think Twitch bans
It's not
us
offensive to them.
if we mention anything like that. So
So that's
Yeah,
fine.
whatever.
so
Japan
yeah,
can
so,
suck it. See, I'm getting us canceled.
yeah, already gotta love it.
It's okay, guys. I'm a pure Japanese, so it's cool. It's fine.
I mean, your name's literally Asian Commando, but you are way more white than you are Asian.
Well, just culturally.
Just
Oh, I
culturally.
guess, yeah. You know.
So which crafting profession do you guys want to jump into like when you're starting your testing routes? Is there anything that jumps up to you?
Mining. I wanna sing fucking like 1800s coal mine songs or something.
There's uh there's a really dark joke in there. But let's, let's do the previous topic of your ethnicity. Alex.
Uh, well, you know me. I'm a big carpenter buddy guy. Um, I'm hoping to build ships, so I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
I'm going right from lumberjacking, lumber milling, right to carpentry.
Well, you like handling hardwood, eh?
I do. I do. I love splinters.
Love splinters. We love
My
the dick
favorite part of the
splinters.
day.
That's pretty disturbing.
Especially when there's a hole in it, you get dick splinters.
Yeah.
A good time.
But yeah, I'm super excited for the boats and stuff. If I can, that's our whole, that's our
It's
total.
all
That's gonna be my income.
Make us a houseboat. Can we have houseboats in Ashes of
Yeah,
Creation?
sure. That's what we want.
sure.
I'll
That'd be
build it.
actually pretty cool.
Yeah, there you go. See, Alex can make us a houseboat. Is there a DJ profession? I can
Oh
DJ.
yeah.
There, you can be,
Well,
you can
just
be,
playing
just-
your music on Discord.
just be a bard.
Just be a bard.
Yeah, just be the bard.
Might
I
as
can-
well be at this point.
I can change your little
Well-
symbol to the bard one.
Well, now he's switching now.
Yeah. I think I like weaponsmithing, but I hope like the whole minigame things. Steven said there will be a minigame. I hope that's not fucking torturous. If it's one of these
Hey,
like
I hope it's not like you fail it and it's like you used all the materials and you don't get them back.
that's 100% going to be like that. It's 100% going to be
I'm
like
gonna
that. It's going to be so annoying.
That's gonna piss me off.
I guess if there's mini games and there's like a random, I don't know. I guess I would like help get rid of botters too. Possibly.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And
Maybe the
doesn't
the mini game is gonna be like, okay, go outside, go cut a 2x4 straight, and send us the video,
send us
and
the
then we'll
picture.
give you. Oh, you want to make a sword? Go to a smith and go do bang some metal, like do
Could
something.
you
like,
imagine? Like
Talk about
literally,
touch
literally,
grass.
yeah, literally touching grass. So, but like, there's horse husbandry.
Yeah,
Is the hus is the mini game breeding like where you have to like go find two animals, and
yeah,
watch them
Yeah,
bone
you
or
had
video?
That's great.
yeah. You get 2 bunnies from the animal store, from the
Animal
closest Pet
store.
Smart, the closest Pet Mart, and you go pick them up. It's like these are the 2 kids, 2 mom and dad, and then 9 months later or whatever, I guess a month later.
9 months later.
I guess
Yeah.
be more of like a month for bunnies,
Rabbits.
but like, oh, here's my bunny. Can I have my animal profession now? Thanks.
Can I be a master?
And they just, so this is a little checkbox that they just click, and it's like, yeah, good job, buddy.
Could you imagine managing all that?
Yeah.
Like
Watching all
every
those
player is
videos.
just sending you shit.
Sorry, that cut wasn't good.
Yeah,
That knife looks shit. Like,
that'd be insane. That'd be way too much. Uh, that's pretty much everything that I wanted to talk about today. We went through the next live stream is on Friday. I think 11 or 12 your time.
yeah,
I don't know. Is it a holiday this week?
no.
No. We talked.
I'm the wrong person to ask that.
Yeah, unemployed. Uh, well, I guess so am I too. Hopefully this will be my employment probably when the actual game is released, so in 10 years. But Guild Wars 2 talked about that. Crafting, big things. Next week we'll probably go into something a little bit more specific. Probably have a shorter show. Not next week. We're going to do the show every bi-weekly. The show every bi-weekly. We'll probably do something way more specific and a bit of a shorter show. But other than that, that is gaming the meta. We'll try to find new ways to game the meta. Thank you all those who tuned in. And I'm just looking at my notes, and I think we covered pretty much everything. Unless there's something you want to bring up, but it has to do with Node Wars crafting.
No. We touched based on it, all the stuff I wrote down too.
Yeah, now we have to touch grass.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining us at Gaming the Meta. See you next time when we start talking the shit again. Take care.